This episode is a work of club members of Verbum. The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed are the speaker's own and do not necessarily represent the views of Verbum as a whole.
Good afternoon, everyone.
I am Sha Miranda.
And I am Isa Bontogon, and we are your Buzzy Bees for today. Well. Ever since Voices released their Day in a Life vlogs, I have been waiting for Verbum to do something like that too.
Oo nga no, today is the day when we can finally see what do Verbum members do behind the screens through this podcast.
So, how's the workload, Ate Sham?
Okay naman. Super tiring. Though some projects take a lot of time, especially detailed posts.
I know, right? I'm so glad we're given club time every Wednesday. That's when our true productivity truly strikes, because that's when we're with our club members.
That's so true. I've noticed that we all work better when we're together. I've also noticed that we are the busiest during club meetings. Nakakapagod talaga, no?
True, from brainstorming ideas to working on the posts to getting it approved, it really is a long and tiring process. I give credit to everyone who's been through that.
Speaking of people who's been through that, how about the older members of Verbum?
That's what I was thinking too. It's only our first year here, so we should hear from the older members too.
Time we welcome one of our guest speakers who is also the president of our club, Ate Dorothy Doria.
Hello, glad to be here. Good afternoon.
So, Ate Dorothy, for our first question, what drives you to work on Verbum projects?
Okay. What drives me to work on Verbum projects? Honestly, there are a lot of reasons. Because given the fact that I'm a senior, actually, I only have, I think, 2 months? No, it's just like 1 month left, in a sense, before I leave Holy. So, back then, first quarter to third quarter, I guess what drove me back then was making a lot of outputs to produce and put into the not because we have a website going on. We have Instagram, we have Facebook. So the first thing that came to my mind back then was to make as much outputs as I can and bring our social media platforms to life. But now that I guess you can say Verbum is really a place where you can truly grow because another thing that basically sprouted out from my determination back then to post as much posts as we could. I guess what drives me talaga to work on Verbum is you guys. Oh, sorry, ang sentimental ko. Okay, wait. Right. Okay. Working with you guys, it drives me to work on more because seeing you guys productive, seeing yung mga posts nyo get into the social media platforms, get the attention it deserves. Wala, nakakasaya lang talaga. Especially since, let's just say, when Verbum first, came to be. I mean, Verbum has been there since pandemic, but after pandemic, we had a lot of ideas. We had a lot of plans. And I guess you can say Verbum, I've come to realize that Verbum people are really full of ideals. So, yes, that's one thing that drives me to work on my Verbum projects. I hope that makes sense.
That's so sweet po, OMG. I feel so special and welcome talaga, even though it's just the first year.
Bye.
Thank you po. Moving on to our next question. How do you keep Verbum united as a club?
Verbum United as a club meanwhile. When I ran for president, first quarter, I told everyone na parang Verbum is like a family. A family that, kahit puyat ka ng 3 a.m., lahat magpupayat din ng 3 a.m. in a sense. So, no, not that I'm saying na I keep Verbum United as a club through sleep deprivation. No, that's not it. Hi, Mr. Miento. Shami can probably cut this out. I guess I keep Verbum United as a club by making sure that everyone is given the right rules, and if kaya nila, I let them express themselves talaga through their craft. Because if you group people together na parang, napipilitan lang, and yeah, it makes the process really hard, especially since, as you said earlier, it takes a lot of time to process things then, especially when it comes to making pubmats and videos. We've made a lot of interviews, we've made a lot of pubmats, and well, all of them have been group works. So, ayun, I guess there's task allocation, that's one. Equal amounts of task allocation, and overall, just being there. Kasi people, okay, I've come to realize kasi that when you're a senior, sometimes there are people na parang they get overwhelmed in a sense na they just see you as a senior. They don't see you as a person na parang pwede mo makausap, someone you can actually ask if parang nahihirapan ka na sa trabaho mo and such. So I try my best to be open to everyone, and I try to be the helping hand. No matter what role I take, I am still a member of Verbum, and Verbum is my family. Or well, I consider Verbum like my second family now. So yes, that's also one way I unite the club, by being open. I don't think of it as like a hierarchy na parang kailangan, okay, yes, we have to go through processes. That's a given. But that doesn't mean na the people who you're supposed to talk to, parang unapproachable sila. So that's why hanga din talaga ako sa mga grade 11, because yeah, they're really accommodating, especially to the juniors. And kahit nga yung juniors talagang sabay-sabay tayo overall. Yeah, dedication talaga. So yeah, I guess by being there with the club, that's one way that I united.
That was so deep, Ate Dorothy.
Sorry.
Sorry po.
Dedication, OMG. Thank you. Now, for our last question, what is your advice to people who work so hard that they are in need of sleep?
Oh no. Okay. I am still working on that. That's one thing I have to say. Because yes, I have a tendency kasi as well to hyperfixate on projects. So, for example, if you give me a project and I'm really dedicated to it, baka mga 2 a.m. natutulog na ako. Like, I'd work on it until it's finished, in a sense. But if you're asking me how to, time manage yourself so you can get sleep, this is something that I've learned from one of our classes. It's called conditioning, in a sense. So basically, diba sa dance, or well, if you go through many trainings, you have to condition yourself so that you're in your A game. I try in a sense, if ever I'm not able to time manage. I try to condition myself that once I'm done, I will know my limit, I will set my boundary, and I will go to sleep. Kasi, yes, even though we say that Verbum is technically run by coffee, well, too much coffee can be bad. I am looking at certain members right now, certain seniors, certain juniors. So yeah, other than conditioning, I also make sure that after, because every time you make a pub mat, every time you publish something, there's always that sense of fulfillment. And it can be rewarding naman. So I try to think of sleep as a reward of a good day's work, in a sense na parang I didn't waste 3 hours of my life editing a video that I wasn't passionate about, because I was actually in my A game from my conditioning, in a sense. If that makes sense. Another advice. That's already 2 advices actually. Have trust in your group mates talaga. You have to trust that kung hindi mo na talaga kaya, they're able to catch you and they'll be there when you're making projects, because the projects itself, it ranges from, may mga difficulty level yan in a sense, if you look at it. From making pub mats, making scripts, even making this podcast, you have to really learn to trust the people who you're working with, that they're able to push through. And that way, you also get to, connect with them throughout the club. Yeah, that's basically it.
Ate Dorothy, you don't know how much I needed that.
I'm glad that it helps. I hope it helps. And
It definitely.
wala.
I still remember.
Tiwala lang, guys.
I still remember the first feeling when my pub mat was actually approved, and then there's the posting already. It's so, yes, OMG.
Mm. There's like this one person, sabi niya, free club daw. joke lang. It's a free club, so no. Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Okay. Thank you so much for joining us today, Ate Dorothy. We hope you enjoyed answering the questions that we have prepared for you. And I also hope viewers now have a better understanding of our club. Let's now move on to our next guest speaker.
We now introduced you to one of our lovely grade 9, Keisha Regacello.
Hello. Thank you for inviting me. I'm so thankful to be in the presence of very talented people.
Hi.
Hello. For our
Hello.
first question, when you first entered Verbum, what did you expect?
When I first entered Verbum, I honestly did not expect much originally, since I wanted to join something that I could do during my free time, to get things off my mind and do something that I'm very passionate about. And one of the main reasons why I joined Verbum was because I was encouraged by my friend Ingrid Mercado, who's also an OG Verbum member and is also a Verbum member now. So when we found out that there was a media club, you could draw, you could write, you could make podcasts, video edit, we wanted to join Verbum, and now we've been in Verbum for almost 3 years. So Verbum basically fueled my passion for content creation and also spreading positivity online. Yay.
That's so nice, OMG.
That was a great story to hear, but
3 years, grabe, ang loyal and dedicated mo.
Very dedicated. Verbum is love, Verbum is life. So true.
Yes, OMG. Next, what was your inspiration to create Dahlia and B, Verbum's lovely mascots.
Okay, this might be a long story, but I'll make it much shorter. So, um, okay, I joined Verbum when I was grade 7, along with other two fellow grade 7 students at the time. We were all grade 7. Um, Sam and Ingrid. We were assigned for a project where we could do a little sneak peek of our very first digital magazine, The Word, and we were assigned to create illustrations. It was mainly Sam who suggested that we create a mascot since, creating a brand, usually there would be a mascot, involved. So we connected the dots and Dahlia was born. um, Here's the story about Dahlia though. Dahlia originally didn't have a flower like the iconic flower that she's wearing. It originally was a star since I think it was something related to Mulan or something. Sorry, I said something 2 times. So basically, um, Dahlia is like, how do we put this? Dahlia is a reflection of, all the students, um, basically anyone who has a passion for something. And I think that Dahlia, she's very charismatic, she's very happy, she's very jolly. And, in a way, I guess Dahlia, is a sign or like an overall representation of Verbum since Verbum, creative, um, happy, positive vibes. So yeah. And B. Now for B. So I had this habit since last year of drawing Garfield. Okay, I had an obsession with drawing Garfield that it suddenly seeped through in creating characters. Since you know how usually Disney princesses or something, they would have a partner with them. So I thought, maybe Dahlia could have a little pet buddy. And so, okay, we originally planned Dahlia to have a little dove as a pet since I think my friends and I also from when we were grade 7, we started researching meanings about Dahlia and all that stuff. Yes, I am unveiling the lore. So you know how flowers would usually have like a meaning. And so when we found out that Dahlia, I think it was related to um sorry, I don't remember specifically, but it was something about, delivering a message. And usually, doves or like birds in fiction or in real life, I don't know. They would usually be this little pet buddy that we would send letters to back and forth. So yeah, like messenger birds. But that didn't push through. It was supposed to be for our project in our very first year, the reveal of Dahlia's dove buddy. But in the next year, that's when B was born. So basically, Dahlia and B were created um, based on the passion, the interests, and also the ideas of those who are in Verbum. And it's very nice of Mrs. Sarmiento to approve this idea since it made Verbum recognizable to many, and it also made Dahlia and B an icon. So yeah.
Thank you for sharing, po. Actually, it's nice to hear more about Dahlia and B because it's my first year here and like it's already fourth quarter and I don't really know a lot about the mascots of Verbum. So yeah, it was really nice to hear.
It is it's so sweet, the story and the inspiration for Dahlia and B. I now have my own spiritual mascot. From now on, it's Dahlia
Aww.
and B. Hashtag
cute.
tatag B. Ika nga ni Ate
Tatag B.
Doris B.
Okay, moving on to our last question. When working on a project, what is the part you look forward to the most?
Submitting on time.
Oh,
Okay, let me elaborate on that. So, you know how earlier Ate Dorothy and basically, the members of Verbum in general would have to deal with deadlines, all of that stuff. But here's the thing, what's really nice about Verbum is that it really captures the communication part of it. And we're very blessed to have Mrs. Sarmiento as our moderator and mentor since she's very understanding and very, open to suggestions. So in that sense, we are able to communicate, Miss, is it okay if we could, move the schedule so that we have more time to prepare? And yeah, I think that what I look forward to the most is, well, getting it done before the due date. But not only that, I think what's really important when you're making your craft is that you really have, well, you do need to take your time to create something that, that reflects your passion about it. So you could tell if something is rushed in a way na, maybe it might look like there's less effort and all that. So what I really like about, creating projects is that you could be yourself basically. Because Verbum is very, how do you call this? It covers a lot of wide topics. For example, you could talk about events in school, events basically that's being held monthly, religious events, and also you could have check-ins and fun projects like bingo, video editing about stuff. Like, for example, there was this video we created, shout out Amaya, with our fellow artists from grade 12 at the time, including Ate Dorothy. We created this poem, and it was for Earth Month, which last year was Earth Month, so it's been 1 year. Oh wow. Yeah, an ode to nature symphony. What's really nice about Verbum is that you can also suggest some projects that you would like to include. Like, for example, one of the members suggested if they could create something related to books, something related to, for example, something to keep you busy. If, for example, I think there was this one time where it was a long week of no classes. So one of the members of Verbum, creative members of Verbum, suggested na maybe we could create a podcast to encourage people to read, suggest music, and yeah, I think that Verbum is a very passionate creative club, and I'm very humbled to be a part of Verbum for such a long time and to be surrounded by very nice people in Verbum. And I'm so happy that I get to work with many people in, this wonderful club that has always been here to give me comfort and joy about something that I really love, which is art and content creation. Yay!
That's so true. Nakaka-relate din talaga kami dyan sa time management and freedom of creativity dito sa Verbum.
True.
Thank you again, Ate Dorothy and Keisha. We truly appreciate your presence here today.
Gee, just listening to the answers of our guest speakers today have really helped me see how great our club members and our club really is. Ate Sham, in Verbum, I just love that even if we aren't close, we are open to ideas and always help each other with projects. To me, this club has shown great value in teamwork, and that's what I admire most about this club.
That is so true. Kaya naman nakaka-inspire din gumawa and makikollaborate sa ating mga Verbum members.
And that's all for today. Once again, I am Isa Bontogon.
And I am Shamira Miranda. And we are
Buzzy Bees
for today. See you next time. Thank you for tuning in.